Hey guys, flipping flatware. I threatened to do this video a couple videos ago. I'm going to title it, "Is this the most boring reselling subject or what?" Well, I used to think that. About 7 years ago, if you told me I was going to be doing a video on flatware, I would have told you were nuts. I probably would have accused you of smoking something good. But about 6 years ago, I was at a swap shop, and it was late in the day, and the guy put out a huge Rubbermaid container of flatware, and I decided to go ahead and look in it, because I've been a silver hound since the mid-90s. So I was looking for sterling. Well, digging in that box, I found a Tiffany & Company cake knife, about a foot long, weighed several ounces. And rather than take the piece to the guy and take the risk that he would look at it and see that it was Tiffany & Company and sterling, I asked him, I said, what are you getting on the flatware anyway? And he just looked at me and he says, you know what? Give me $25 and you can have the whole box. So I kind of hemmed and hawed about it a little bit. Then with an internal smile, I reached in and gave him $25, ran off with that box. Sold to Tiffany & Company, I think for around $225 or $250 for that cake knife. I found a couple other pieces of sterling in there, and I thought all was good. I just took that box and I set it in a pile where I would take it back out to the swap shop at a later date. Well, a couple weeks later, I was at the swap shop and I saw something that looked like camping utensils. Camping utensils can be expensive, especially if they're titanium. And I looked at it, and they were Stanley Roberts cycles. And they had a look that was similar to camping utensils. And I decided to go ahead and look it up. And my jaw about dropped. I bought the box of Stanley cycles for $5. I sold it for $75. And then I was thinking to myself, how many times have I overlooked stainless flatware? And then I remembered that I had that box, that Rubbermaid container that I got the Tiffany & Company knife in. I made more money off of that stainless flatware that was in that box than I did off the prize that I thought I was buying. And I was getting ready to take that back out to the swap shop and just throw it to the birds. So then I started researching stainless flatware, and there is some good money in it. Then Poplar Picker, Nikki she's got a show, List It or Ditch It. She was talking about canoe muffin. And I sat up in my seat and I was like, canoe muffin, I know that name. Where do I know that name? And she reached in and she pulled out some canoe muffin. And I've got some canoe muffin right here. Canoe muffin, brand new in the package. It's good money. And she says, "Oh no, I'm not. This is definitely going to get listed." And then it sparked me, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do that video. This is a beginner's tutorial on what I look for when I'm looking at stainless flatware or flatware in general. Okay, I'm not an expert. There's going to be some gross generalizations here of what I think is good and what I think is not. Okay, first thing I look for is when I'm looking at the boxes, I look for the age of it, age of the pieces that I see, and I look to see if I see any known quality pieces. A good example of a quality piece that you might be able to spot is that's a very, Cutco's got a very distinct handle. The look, the age, the bamboo's okay. The floral patterns, it shows a little bit of age. Now this would be an example of a little bit too old. This is from Civil War. It's not worth much, but it's about Civil War era. What I look for is what everybody refers to as mid-century modern. Those have been my biggest home runs. Mid-century pieces in general, but mid-century modern, Danish if you want to be absolutely specific. Okay, some of the characterizations of that you might look for is something that might look like something off the Star Trek Enterprise. Three-prong forks. That's a 4-prong, but the shape is right. There's a 3-pronger right there. Simple, elegant lines. The pistol grip, that's a good sign to look for. The bulbous end on that knife. Notice the distinct shape of that butter spreader, right? Those are all good signs to look for. Another good thing would be is wood handles. Now, I'm not saying that all the wood handles are good, but a lot of them are. Interpur, this is Lunthoff and Opus. That's decent. Okay, so then when I'm looking at it, okay, so now I've established the wheat pattern or whatever that one is. I can't remember exactly. You know, here's another wood pattern one, wood handled one. That's you know, look for signs of age, and then the look. And your better quality pieces are going to have a little bit of weight to them. Okay, higher quality flatware's got a little bit of weight. That's another thing to look for. It's a sign of quality. Another thing to look for is the place of origin. Okay, I've done well with Japan stuff. I've done well with you know, some of the United States stuff. My biggest home runs seem to come out of Europe, specifically Scandinavian countries. You know, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, something like that. And then I look for known names. You know, that comes with time. That's not really a beginner's deal, but after a while you'll start to know the names a little bit. Okay, so that's a gross generalization on how to get through it, process it quickly. You know, if it's seems cheap and flimsy, it's made in Taiwan, it's probably not worth much, because you could find yourself spending hours researching flatware. So you want to try to cut through that, because you don't want to. Time is money. Okay, so what kind of profits are we talking about, anyways? Is this even going to be worth the problem? Is this even going to be worth the effort to learn this? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. When I look in some flatware boxes, that's exactly what I see. You'd buy a Polaroid camera all day for $1, wouldn't you? This is let me see what I got here. Laufer Design 2. These are like $10 or so a piece. I paid 10 cents a piece. So there's a 10,000% return on investment. How about these? These are the same design. Those are worth $20, $25. These are worth $8 a piece. I paid 10 cents a piece on these. Most of these finds were Goodwill, and other ones were a lot. This is a good find. There's a good example of a simple design. That's a George Jensen Plata. Okay. The Lunthoff and Opus. That's good. You know, and some of your plated flatware is good too. You know, and even in these pieces like this, look up plated flatware craft lot. Okay, if you can get that for $10 and sell it for 50 cents, and you can get a handful of it at a time, get $20 worth. You know, there you go. That's an awesome return on investment in itself. Now, how big can the home runs get? Well, it's common for me to get a 30,000% return on investment. You know, I got these a while back. WMF Marlowe's. I don't know if these prices are still good, but I'm guessing I had $10. Those are worth $10 a piece. 4 of these is worth $25. I like to call them short sets, and short sets do fine with the right pattern. These are 3 of these are worth about $25. Yeah, here's your homework assignment, your mission if you can choose to accept it. I just looked these up again because I couldn't believe what I had wrote. These are WMF Marlows. I got 5 of them. They're teaspoons. Paid 50 cents. Is that a good return on investment or what? Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you got a little bit out of this video.